The following is a paid political broadcast by the United Alliance, a grouping of talented individuals committed to providing visionary, competent, and accountable governance of Montserrat's affairs.
Mayday, 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 mayday! Montserrat in trouble! Somebody come rescue us, man! Huh? Montserrat was sailing in full speed under the leadership of Reuben Meade. Then they turned the ship over to a captain named Romeo. Then all of a sudden the ship started going down. So they brought a new captain hailing from long ground. Some people start swimming, some even start drowning. Montserrat in trouble. Who better rescue my people? United, 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 united alliance. United, united, united alliance. United, united. Montserrat is in distress. We need you to clean up this mess. United, 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 united alliance. United, united, united alliance. United, united. With your strong leadership, we know you can steer this ship. You have the capacity to turn this country around. With your competent crew, we will rebound. It's not too late. In your team, we put our faith. United Alliance, come rescue your people. United, united. We need a captain on board. Yeah, man. Whoa. Our country is now at the brink. If we don't change course, we bound to sink. So we need a competent crew to turn this ship around. So now is not the time to procrastinate. Get on board the ship before it's too late. Monsations come, non-nationals come. Let us unite as one to build back this nation. United, 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 united alliance. United, united, united alliance. United, united. Montserrat is in distress. We need you to clean up this mess. United, 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 united alliance. United, united, united alliance. United, united. With your strong leadership, we know you can steer this ship. You have the capacity to turn this country around. With your competent crew, we will rebound. It's not too late. In your team, we put our faith. United Alliance, come rescue your people. United, united. With United Alliance, you can help rescue this country. Come on, come on. Join with the team under the leadership of Reuben Meade. We are ready to rescue Montserrat. Hope is on the horizon.
Good morning, radio listeners, and welcome to another edition of the program, Let's Talk with the United Alliance. We have a wonderful program lined up for you, but before we start this morning, I'll ask our team leader, Mr. Meade, to make a statement.
Thank you very much, Austin, and good morning, everyone on this side of the world, and good afternoon to those on the other side of the Atlantic. We are 1 week away from putting an end to the incompetent leadership that has stagnated Montserrat's progress over the last decade under the past two successive administrations. The people of Montserrat have indicated that they've felt enough pain and that they're ready to feel hope again. I say to our people, we have heard your cry and we're here to provide the leadership you rightly deserve. I have returned to the political front lines after constant pleading from Montserratians, both at home and abroad, for me to take up the mantle of restoring visionary and competent leadership to put the island on a trajectory for economic success. Joining me on the United Alliance ticket are the following candidates: Dr. Ingrid, who is a medical doctor; Veronica K. Dorset, an attorney at law; Dwayne Hickson, a real estate developer; John P. Osborne, an entrepreneur; Jenzil Skerritt, real estate property appraiser; Marjorie Glenda Smith, former civil servant; and Thomas, a former civil servant and an entrepreneur. The United Alliance is focused on making life for the people of Montserrat, and our candidates have all demonstrated that they have what it takes to be part of the solution. I am immensely proud of the various experience and expertise that they bring to the table to serve the people of Montserrat. We have identified the immediate priorities for a United Alliance administration as addressing gaps in air service and sea access to the island, restoring and developing reliable electricity service, advancing stalled infrastructure projects, including the seaport, hospital, and housing. We will hit the ground running to implement immediate solutions to these issues, while doubling down to advance plans for longer-term economic and human success that will make lives better for all the people who live on Montserrat, who call Montserrat home, whether in Montserrat or in the diaspora. I am inviting the public to review the United Alliance Manifesto, which provides further insight into our policies. These can be found on our Facebook page and on our YouTube channel. The United Alliance is ready to restore visionary and competent leadership in government. Do not be unwise. Do not split your votes. Vote United Alliance all the way. Do not split your votes next week, Thursday, as you go to the polls. United Alliance all the way.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mead. And I'm looking around the table at the others here, and they're just nodding their head in appreciation. I think we could just maybe play some music and go home. We have just come through a very long campaign period, and we have seen the unsavory side of local politics. We have seen some behavior which have left us more than concerned. And in one case, I wondered if maybe all of them were smoking from the same chalice. But that's okay. I think we have to move on. And this morning, the other person in the studio would just talk briefly about their feelings over the campaign period, their visions of the future, their aspirations, and how they think they'll be able to take Montserrat forward. I also invite our listeners this morning to call us. This is the opportunity to talk to us again before we get into government. Share your concerns, share your love, and let us know how you feel about this United Alliance team. So the numbers you can call this morning is 491-7227, 491-9064, and you can send us a WhatsApp message or call us on 496-2885. We're looking forward to a very interactive program this morning, and I'll start by just going on the table and let the others who are here this time say, greet you and...
Good morning, listeners. Jenzil Skerritt, and it's a pleasure to be in the studios of ZJB again. And, encourage the persons here listening on Island to do the right thing October 24th, vote for the United Alliance. As you see the volume of work we've put in over the years and including the last several months, and you observing what has happened here in Montserrat over the last decade, and make the right choice coming this October 24th. So looking forward to working and sharing with you. And let's get the game and the ball rolling.
Good morning, listeners. John Osborne here. As you would know, I am passionate about youth, passionate about entrepreneurship, and it is my feeling that the governments of the past have dropped the ball both on youth, both on entrepreneurship, and on small businesses. We are here to say that we're going to fix these issues. Because how do you have a Montserrat where there's no focus on the youth? How do you plan to rebuild an island and there's no focus on the youth? How do you plan to rebuild an island with no economy? How do you plan to rebuild an island and you don't support its people? You don't support their growth? We are saying that we understand the issues of Montserrat and we will fix these issues. Most governments have focused only on government and not on the private sector. We are saying that we understand that we need to grow a private sector in Montserrat in order to make Montserrat's economy grow, in order to be able to support more of our budget, in order to be able to do more for our people and have more autonomy over our country. We understand that as a government, we need to care, we need to sacrifice for our people so that our country can grow and that we can build Montserrat back into something that we are proud of.
Good morning, my people, both living on Montserrat and abroad. We are at a serious juncture in our development, and I want to ask you to do the right thing, do the wise thing, do the correct thing, and vote for the United Alliance. I am Veronica Dorset Hector, who have and remain committed to the progress, growth, development, and prosperity of this land. My people, you come first. And with this competent team, this committed team, this caring team, I can assure you, with your help, that together we would restore our pride and prosperity. We will work together to address food security, reliable source of energy, access which have plagued us, both sea and air. We also must address housing, the issues that affect our vulnerable persons, our older persons. My colleague have already spoken to youth, so I will not address that. And the many more issues that affect us. The civil service is crying out for leadership. The civil service is crying out for persons who care, better working environment, and accountability in order to realize our motto that we are a people of excellence. I have shown my commitment and I remain committed to you. And with this competent group, we will bring around a change and take our country to another level.
Good morning, Montserrat. By birth or by choice, your Montserratians. Good morning to those overseas listening to us. We thank you again for your support and for tuning in to share with us. We look forward to your calls. Let's talk this morning. My name is Ann Thomas, and I am here with the United Alliance because I saw a need for some person, for a group of persons to step in and do better for our people in Montserrat. As a civil servant, and I heard the cries, I saw the poverty, I saw the level of neglect across our islands. And being a humanitarian, I said, I had to do more. I had to get involved and do more for our people. So here I am, love for people, kindness for people, with a group that is going to bring change, that is going to bring back the pride to our people, our communities, our Montserrat on a whole. I'm accustomed to hard work. And I am not going to change. I am going to continue working for our people because we need to get back to our days of glory. We need to stop the neglect and we need to stop ignoring our persons living here on island. So I am saying to you, we are looking forward to working with you because it's not all about us. It is about inclusive, working together to make Montserrat one that is envied again throughout the region. Work with us. When you go to the polls next Thursday, vote United Alliance. The team, all the way. We need the team to bring back Montserrat. We need the team to help realize all those fantastic dreams. You can conceive it. Together, we will achieve it. Montserrat, vote United Alliance. Don't play at this critical juncture. Don't juggle around. Don't share. We need you to work with us. United Alliance, all the way.
Good morning, listeners. I am Marjorie Smith, and determination is something that is synonymous with me. Once I endeavor to do something, I will persist to get it done. So joining with the United Alliance is part of what I will embrace. The team of people who are compassionate, who are visionary, who are hardworking, diligent. This is the team of people that I want to be a part of, because that is what I am about. Our people have been suffering, have been crying out, have been enduring misery, and whatever I can do along with the other members of my team, I am prepared to do. We may not be, well, we know we are not miracle workers, but we are hard workers, and we will get the job done. So on election day, I'm encouraging everyone to go out and vote. There are people who are saying that they will not vote, but I will not encourage that. You need to go out and vote and be part of the process to bring change to this country. If you don't vote, you will still be part of the process, and then we may end up with a government that cannot help us or who are not willing to help us, such as we've had in recent times. We need to do the right thing to bring Montserrat out of the dilemma that it is in. Thank you.
Let's take, for example, the public service is disenfranchised. The public service needs a lot of work to bring it up to speed. Now imagine the Public Service Act, which was passed since 2014, and 2 successive administrations have not implemented it to get rid of the outdated general orders. And what's very important is that the last administration, or the outgoing administration, is headed by a trade unionist. The previous administration, the deputy was a trade unionist who now wants to be the leader of government business. But none of them have sought to bring the Public Service Act into force. Now, what does the Public Service Act do? It empowers the HR department, the deputy governor, and the Public Service Commission by giving them the tools to do their work. Remember, general orders predated the Constitution. The regulations that are required to give effect to the Public Service Act must be put in place. And the reason why that is not being done and the governor has so much powers according to them is that the governments have not understood that they must put regulations in place to give effect to the Constitution. And that is why our number 9 candidate, Mr. George Kernan, is so important, along with Kay Dorset, our 2 lawyers, to be able to look at our legislations to ensure that our legislations are brought up to speed to give effect to the Constitution. People are arguing that the Constitution is this, that, and the other. The other one is the Elections Act. We have to deal with the Elections Act. People are complaining that, oh, we're trying to get around the Elections Act. No, we're simply saying we do not just sit back and take things for granted and take things as they are. We will challenge anything that needs to be challenged, and we will put in place the necessary changes to make sure that we empower our people. And just before I close off on this one, if the Public Service Act was in place, with the regulations put in place, then something as atrocious as a cabinet secretary being brought in from overseas would not have taken place, because the power has not been granted to our own people to bring these things into effect. And we will make sure that those regulations are put into place within the first 3 months of getting into office. Dwayne?
Good morning, all. My name is Dwayne Hickson. I want to say this morning that you know, and I know, that my love for Montserrat is real. And we need to see a country that will be developed. We will deal with tourism. We know that there's a problem with cricket at the moment. No cricket have been playing. And I've heard the many complaints about the younger guys, whether it's Jamal Williams and all these guys. We need to encourage them. And we are saying to you, the people out there, that we need to do something about this. We can't just stand aside and look at what's going on and do nothing. We are here. The United Alliance will, and I promise you, we will do something about what's going on.
Mr. Mead, I just want to piggyback on that statement you made. For what I found interesting was that the statement is made that 50% of the public service in Montserrat would have been qualified to perform the job of the cabinet secretary. I want to know how public servants sit back this morning and feel when they realize 50% of them could have been earning that money which is being paid to some of the overseas.
Well, it's not just earning the money, it is empowering our own people. We must not bring others in to say there is no capacity in Montserrat. There is capacity. We have the largest number of Chevening scholars in the entire Caribbean. And you want to tell me that from among those, along with others with experience, cannot do that job? My dear friend next to me, Marjorie Smith, was the cabinet clerk before she got fed up and left. And I say fed up and left because she took early exit to get out of the service because she really couldn't tolerate it. But let's look at something else in terms of empowering our own people and how we reject our own people. Look at young Williams, who was in Australia playing cricket the other day. He submitted a resignation letter because he was hoping to go back to Australia. He changed his mind. He's a quantity surveyor. And he said to them, I want to remain in Montserrat. I'm not going back to Australia now. And yet there's a problem hiring him. More than likely, they would then say, okay, we need a quantity surveyor, and a quantity surveyor comes in from overseas. We must encourage, for example, our sports persons to go out and play their sport and be able to come back and get into their jobs. Additionally, given the time difference, a lot of the work which they're doing could be done remotely. So allow them to be remote workers while they're overseas playing cricket or playing football or playing basketball, and contribute so that at least they can pay their mortgages while they are carrying out the name of Montserrat elsewhere. When the cricket team in Australia won, every Montserratian was happy for that cricket team in Australia to win. Why? It was a young Montserratian fast bowler who bowled them and batted them to victory. We have youngsters in England who are performing exceptionally well, taking their teams to victory, but they have to give up their job and can't be paid. when in fact some of them can do remote work and do what is required. There's another example in the police service. A job is being advertised because the person who holds the job currently is in UK having medical attention. And that person could have continued working online, but they're advertising it now as a director's position. And you know what that means. They're looking for somebody from outside to fill that position. We cannot and we will not allow these things to continue happening to our people. If we don't have persons on island who can immediately fill the post, we will get persons from our diaspora to fill those positions.
Listeners, you can call us at 491-7227, 491-9064, or WhatsApp message at 496-2885. This is the opportunity to ask questions before the election. This is the opportunity to verify for yourself some of the things you've been hearing on the road. Because there are lots of rumors, misstatements, and downright lies that are being spread. And now is the opportunity to call us, challenge us. When you hear people saying that we plan to move the age for citizenship from 8 to 20 years, now is your chance to call and challenge us publicly. Because these lies continue to pervade the community. And people go on in the back doors claiming these things. But now is your chance. If you believe them, call the United Alliance on the radio and ask us, is it true that you plan to move the time from 8 to 20 years? Yeah, I think we have a call on the line. Caller, good morning, and welcome to Let's Talk with the United Alliance. Caller? Okay, I think we have lost a caller. Can we continue?
If I may just add to what Mr. Meade was saying with regard to the Public Service Act. When you look at the public, and please bear with me, my voice is giving a little trouble. We recently employed a cabinet secretary in the Public Administration Act of 2014. The procedure is here for that, and it is the governor, after consultation with the Premier, who will appoint the cabinet secretary. The cabinet secretary is expected to be employed under the conditions and regulation, but is an employee of the government. Are you therefore saying to me that a government sits there, did not look among its people, its public service, and determine that one of our members can become our cabinet secretary? And we have someone on Montserrat as well who was also one and can assist if we need to build any capacity if that were the case.
Well, we also have to look at another factor. A government is in office for 5 years, 1830 days thereabouts. I spoke to a youngster who was hesitant to say whether he's supporting us or he's supporting them. So I said to him, tell me 2 things that Dr. Sammy has done in the past 5 years. He couldn't find it. So I said to him, okay, let me just deal with one subject area. And I gave him at least 10 things that I did during my time in office. So I said to him, okay, tell me one thing that he has done. He still was hesitating. He said, he'll think about it. Now, if a youngster cannot think of something that a potential leader has accomplished in 5 years, how can that person, that leader or potential leader, come to the public to say, let me lead a team into government? I'll pause for the call.
Good morning, caller, and welcome to Let's
Good morning.
Talk.
How are you, Austin? You
Fine,
good?
thank you. Good morning, sir.
Yeah. I would like to say good morning to Mr. Meade and the panel. My thing is not really about politics because folks who know me, they would know that I'm not necessarily involved in politics and especially party politics and so. But I listened to Mr. Meade there, and he was talking about monstrations overseas and everything. I want to ask you, Mr. Meade, and this is because I had an argument with some people on Montserrat. We were talking about monstrations overseas and coming back to work and so. And of course, they brought up the question about procurement and have to advertise the job and have to do this and do that. And I was saying, maybe I'm wrong, right? But I was saying, we don't need to always do that. We know our people. We know where they are. And I was really mainly talking about nurses and teachers that we're lacking, especially. And I say, why not target? And my word here is target our own people, because we know them. We know their capabilities. Why not send somebody out to go out and look for them? Let's target them. Nothing is wrong with that in my books, because they are our people. And they were telling me all this, oh, you have to go through this and you have to go through that. The reason I'm saying that too, sometimes the people who sign up and come for the thing, they're not, well, as my friend Joel Osborne said, they're not much. They cannot measure up to our people. So is there something wrong, Mr. Meade, with, as I said, targeting our own people? That's my question to you, sir.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And here is the issue. Government creates the policy. So if government decides they want to advertise all positions, that is a government policy. So you want to target persons, government just need to change the policy. That's all it takes. Government must go in. This is what the policy is. We're targeting our own persons to bring them in to do the job. As long as they're qualified, competent, and capable. And if we're targeting them, then they must be paid the same as if you're bringing in a TC from overseas. So a month's ration coming in to do a 3-month job or 6-month job, or 1-year job, or 2-year job. Treat them the same way as if you're bringing in a TC from overseas and pay them the same salary. And again, as I said, it's simply a matter of government putting in place that policy. The other thing which I've seen, and again, this comes back to policy. The Public Service Commission, for example, by statute, indicates who makes up that commission. But of late, I'm hearing that all the positions for the Public Service Commission, along with others, are being advertised. How can you advertise when the Civil Service Association nominates one member, the Premier one member, etc., etc. And you have the Public Service Commission now being run by persons who had to apply for those positions? It makes absolutely no sense. So it simply means that these last two administrations either are unable to read or have failed to read documents put before them to understand how government works.
Okay, this morning I want to focus on getting some of the messages in early. So I'm going to read the first one we got this morning.
Okay.
It says, a common debate is that there is nothing for tourists to do when in Montserrat. The opposing side says that it makes no sense to create business if there's not a steady enough amount of tourists to keep such a business afloat. For people who have such business ideas but do not have the assurance of steady customers, mainly tourists, question is, how does the United Alliance plan to aid in this tedious decision? Let me take the call and then we'll get back to that question. Caller, good morning and welcome to Let's Talk with the United Alliance.
Good morning. I have a question for United Alliance. Are there any projects which the current government has undertaken that you will continue that is positive for you for the Montserrat?
Thank you, caller. In my opening statement, I identified at least two of those projects that have been held up. One is the hospital, one is the port. Both of those projects we will ensure are continued. We can recognize now that there are issues with the port project, and I think it is because there's a lack of political will to deal with the issues of finding out what is happening as it relates to that project and getting it done. This team, under my leadership, will ensure that the port project continues to completion and the hospital starts almost immediately. We also have housing projects. Funding has been made available. Nothing has happened. We will get those funded projects up and going immediately. The geothermal facility, which we have been talking about since 2014, we completed drilling those wells in 2014. We have already started discussions of trying to get those wells into full production within a year and a half to 2 years. So yes, the short answer is yes, we will continue to completion of the projects that are already on the table.
And if I may add as well, we will also bring the tower that is built and is sitting up there back into action.
That's the Tower of Babel, or?
And ensuring as well that the staff at not the hospital, the staff at the airport work in conditions that they deserve. This has been too long, and we intend to that is going to be a priority, because we speak of our people and they are our human resource and they are our priority. So we will also address that.
And there are also some social welfare issues that we have to address, because in speaking with someone who knows, the indication is that there are so many issues in the social welfare realm in government that we need to be in a position to ensure that we bring those policies on board and fix those problems.
And that, again, is going to be urgent. I sought to advance that work so we can ensure it's also a fair system. It is critical that we have transparency when we are allocating, and again, support those who need to get into work, because many persons who receive assistance, they are in need of work. So creating employment is also going to be one of the avenues that we are going to be strenuously looking at, putting people to work. There are many avenues around that we can do that.
Okay, just before Dwayne comes in, I just want to add one more. We have equipment at the hospital that should be functional. If we don't have trained persons readily available, we will bring persons in to adequately operate these pieces of equipment while our persons are trained or seconded, so that they can get the training and the experience while we operationalize those pieces of equipment and the others which we're hoping to bring in. Dwayne.
Yes, to answer to the tourism question, what I'll say is that it is important to network. We have neighboring countries like Guadeloupe, St. Kitts, Nevis, and Antigua. And what needs to happen is that we need to have a stronger relationship. And also, we have to be strategic about this, because these neighboring islands can be our key development partners. And so hence, we could liaise with Antigua, partnership with Antigua to bring tourists in. And as I say, it's the same thing with Nevis, St. Kitts, and also Guadeloupe, as far as Guadeloupe. And, it has something to do with networking, and networking is actually the key. And hence, that's why it's important to get all the key stakeholders involved so we can know where we're going. We know what the problems are, and it's now to really address and to solve the problems.
But we
I mean-
also can't talk about networking with our Caribbean islands if we're going to put things in place to stifle that relationship. Like, for instance, SOLAS. We are stopping our Caribbean island, our brothers and sisters from coming to Montserrat because we put in a requirement like SOLAS that stops them from bringing boats. As I would say, when we're in motorsports, and I'll use it as an example, we used to have tourism trade, like sports tourism trade between the islands. Once we go to Antigua and Nevis, and they're also looking to come here. But the problem that we're having now is that because we have stricter requirements than the other islands, we are stifling the tourism economy and putting roadblocks in place to actually growing that sector. I'll just give you an example. We used to go to Nevis. The boat costs about $30,000 to do a round trip to Nevis. That boat would take 150 people. We would use the tickets that we would sell for the 150 people and would pay for the boat to carry 10 cars also. And Nevis and Antigua, who wants to do that with us, now cannot do that because their boats cannot come here with cars and people. They would have to send the cars separately, which is a cost. And because they can't benefit by bringing people with them, they cannot alleviate the cost of bringing the cars here, even though they want to participate in our motorsports events here. So when we put these things into place and stifle ourselves and allow somebody like the governor to put these things into place and stifle our economy, then obviously the tourism economy cannot grow. Montserrat, for instance, when we go to Nevis for just a weekend, we add over $100,000 to the economy. Imagine if Antigua, who wants to bring more people than we take to Antigua, comes here. Some of them come down in March and they can't even get in, really. They have to book. Now I have to be booking people's tickets a whole year in advance or 6 months in advance for them to get to Montserrat. So us as a government, we understand that these are the roadblocks and we will fix them. Mr. Mead is already working on some solutions and we will put these in place and fix these things and stop putting roadblocks into our own development.
And critical to that is the commitment to invest in tourism. Montserrat is replete with areas that we can develop for tourism, but we must be committed and invest in tourism. Again, access, moving from what John says, plays a critical part in our tourism, in getting people here. People need reliable, safe, and affordable access into Montserrat. People do not simply just jump up one day and decide they're coming to a destination. They must know that when they get to this destination, they can get back to their jobs and to their families. Again, building on tourism, sports tourism is there. But rather than working with me and let us enhance our sports facilities, those are put on the back shelf. Ecotourism, wherever you go in Montserrat, there is an opportunity for you. Building, it could be very simple because a lot of persons are looking for an experience. So I am of the view that we have the opportunity and we must turn the opportunities into reality. And that is what we are committed to do. We now have as well a tourism authority, and I am committed to working with that authority. It is new, and we will work with them to ensure they have the requisite finance to push tourism forward. So yes, we do have that opportunity, and we are prepared to advance it and grow our tourism sector in order to provide work for those who wish to be engaged in the tourism sector.
Okay, John, I think we have some more questions coming in on WhatsApp messages. So I just need you to go through them so that everybody feels as if the questions are being treated this morning.
Okay. We have the first question here. It says, will the United Alliance ensure us that they will raise retirement for politicians from 6 years to 11 years?
The caller?
No, it's a WhatsApp question.
It's a WhatsApp message. Mm-hmm. You have raised an issue. We are committed to collaborating with you, working with you, and what I, Veronica Dawson-Hector, will commit to do is to come out, consult with the people of Montserrat, and if that is what they wish to see, we will make the requisite decision when the time comes. But we must collaborate, so we will not make a commitment to you, but work with all our people and hear what they're saying about this and move that along. And thank you very much for that, because that has come up before, and so it is worth exploring with you.
Well, what someone said to me really on the issue is they felt like if we raised the retirement time, the pension time, that we would get better politicians. Because what they're saying is, yes, you're going to go in for the first term and you might try to do very well. And you get in for the second term and you only have to do 1 year. And after that, you can slack off, basically, because, pensionable. So they're saying is if we go in and you have to do 2 full terms, then they think that they'll get better politicians out of that. And, sorry.
Okay.
Oh,
But
so
like I said,
right.
we would explore all the issues regarding
But-
that with our people.
Right, and that's something that we could take a
because there are
consensus
many
on.
factors.
There's
There are
something that
many
we could take a
factors
consensus on.
to be considered, and we can commit to advancing that.
When we
Exploring that.
were looking at increasing the retirement age of civil servants, Paul Lewis was the president of the Civil Service Association. And I said to him, someone like me cannot push an issue such as this because I've already done enough years. So you, as the head of the Public Service Commission, counter the government's move to move the age of retirement to 65 by putting forward a proposal which we would be obliged to consider. And he said, no, he's not going to help me. Now, you see, these are things which must be done in collaboration. So the person with responsibility for running the the Civil Service Association should speak with government. The private sector must speak with government and push these things. And then we can implement them as part of the laws of this country. And I think it's a very reasonable question. I can't speak too much to it because I'm already retired. I've already put in many years. So I don't want to then say to you, this is what you must do. But this is something which I would want the team to consider in consultation with the Public Service Commission, the Civil Service Association, and the various organizations across government and the private sector.
Well, the next question. Well,
Sorry,
go
John.
ahead.
I heard you were saying about somebody said the number of people would work harder depending
Slack
on the number of years.
Right.
I just want to say and assure the public that the United Alliance is here about serving the people rather than focusing on the benefits that may come. Yes, we would have to think about your livelihood, your way of life, whatever. But we are more about service to the people.
And just to add, all of us sitting in this room can and have businesses. So it's not that we want to hold on because we want a retirement to get a pension or we're running to get a pension. And I don't want to boast. I'm an attorney at law. I have my own firm. I have clients not only on Montserrat but further afield. I do professional development courses. I'm called to speak at conferences. So we have opportunity. Miss Anne is a businesswoman. So it is not that we will push, but with you, I've given you a commitment that this is one of the things that we are going to explore with you and the necessary
I think we have
bodies.
a call. We have a call on the line.
Yeah, good morning, caller. Welcome to Let's Talk with the United Alliance.
Hi, good morning. This is something that I have raised before. I have raised it with a former premier. I don't want to say on air what his response was, but for Mr. Meade, I am asking and maybe suggesting, because seemingly ministers tend to get very busy, and we have polling divisions, and persons in the respective polling divisions don't seem to have a minister per se to go to. My suggestion was, what about having senators? The country is already divided into polling divisions. I don't know if you want to call them senators, but have somebody, this person could be voted, nominated, co-opted, I don't know how you do it. This person, that the residents or voters or whomever can go to this person with whatever, the issue, the challenge, what the complaint is. And this person, because this person is on the ground, they can visit sites, they can write reports, and then these could be turned into whether it's the minister themselves or I don't know if this person would have a parliament sitting. I don't know. I'm just raising something. So this is a suggestion I'm making. Again, having somebody in the polling divisions that persons can go to, sit with, talk to, and this person can do their due diligence and then make reports back to whether it's the ministers, the ministry, or whatever. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to answer that this way. The only two former premiers so far, Mr. Taylor Farrell is the third one, soon to be a former premier. So I know you didn't speak to me, so it's very simple to deduce who the person you spoke with. We have a unicameral system, but I think what we need to focus on is not changing the structure to create senators. We need to go back to constituencies. So that once you have a constituency representative, and the constituency representatives will then be in a position to take things up on behalf of their constituents. So that as we have it as all 9, you don't know who to go to. But if you know that Dr. Buffong is the head of the constituency for braids, for example, then you know when you have an issue, you go to Dr. Buffong, and so forth and so on. We need to get that done, and we're committing to the public that we will have electoral reform, and that will be addressed in the first year of our administration. The electoral law has to change. The whole idea of constituencies we'll have to look at with the public, and we will put those things in place within the first year.
But until that is done, I like the whole idea of the constituency system and having a representative. But we have 6 divisions now, and we can use whoever the representatives are until the reform takes place and assign somebody to each division just so that we get the representation that each area, each community may need.
Excellent, Sister Marjorie.
One moment, please. Let me apologize to those callers who are calling on WhatsApp and are unable to get through, because we could see the calls coming in, but some unknown reason they're not coming through to the studio itself. Let me go to Dr. Buffon now, because she has been here. She has just come in a bit, and she has had a very busy day. And I know she has a busy day ahead of her with Dr. Thwaites. So, Doc, let me give you an opportunity to say something.
Good morning, everybody. I hope those persons who are viewing are seeing our premier looking 20 years younger with his new hairstyle and his clean-shaven face. I think he probably even had a facial. He's glowing.
And Mrs. Secretary is going to ensure he keeps it that way.
Well, I like him anyway. So Dr. Thwaites is here today. Dr. Thwaites has been coming to Montserrat for about 13 years, providing a urology service. Prostate cancer is very common in black men. 1 in 4 black men who get prostate cancer, as opposed to 1 in 10 men in the general population. Access has been a big deal. As I walked in, Mrs. Hector was talking about access. Very often when he comes, he can't get a flight or he has to book a charter. He was supposed to come tomorrow. There were no flights. He booked to come today. SVG cancelled, so he had to charter a helicopter to come here. Dr. Thwaites, if you're hearing, probably is in with a patient, but we thank you for the service that you've provided to Montserrat over the last 13 years. Yeah. He very often does not make a profit, but he cares about prostate health and he knows that we need him, so he's here. To answer the question of the caller before last about the pensionable age, I agree to have it at 6 years is a bit silly. I would say 10 years. At least you know that the politician has served 2 good, useful terms. To put it at 11 years to me seems a little bit disrespectful to the ones who have come in and have worked hard in 2 consecutive terms, but perhaps, you know, the climate changed politically and they could not get back in. It doesn't mean that their contribution was not significant. I'd say 10, but obviously group discussion and discussion with the public. And to the caller who just called, I think it's an excellent idea. People need to know who to go to. And obviously the party has thought of this before and have ideas about how we're going to help in that area to make sure that people know that we are easily contactable with their problems.
Okay.
I think there's another caller.
Yeah, I think we have a caller. Caller, good morning and welcome to Let's Talk United Alliance.
Well, you're saying good morning. I'm saying good afternoon, actually. Good afternoon, my United Alliance. How are you doing?
Well, my brother, it's good to hear your voice.
Well, I'm here. I'm following everything just as if I'm on the ground. But yes, I am. I am not on the ground. So it's my only opportunity. I was so glad today when you mentioned that people can call in and pledge their support to the United Alliance, give their encouragement and whatnot. So that is exactly what I intend to do. But I just want to say, I was thinking, earlier today, and I was saying that, look, Austin, we're at the final furlong of this election race. As of today, we are what, 7 days? 7 days to get it right. And when I say to get it right, I mean to choose the team that is the most competent to deliver on a mandate for the development of Montserrat. I'm sure that you will agree with me. Throughout Montserrat and within the diaspora, and this is where I am, in the diaspora, we have been hearing that this election is considered to be the most critical election in Montserrat's political history. Why? Because we are at the crossroads. We need direction. We need a team that can navigate the path to economic growth and development. We need a team that can steer Montserrat away from the precipice of economic doom and gloom, from the doldrums of economic despair. Yes, indeed, Montserrat is at the crossroads. And I can only see one team that is so qualified to deliver on this mandate for our economic survival. That is the United Alliance, Ruben Timid and his crew. Over the past 10 years, Austin, we have seen the chaos, the economic stagnation caused by the lack of core leadership. And we have come to the realization that leadership matters. I listen to the campaign every time there's a rally. And that is the slogan. Leadership matters. So let me first say thanks. Thanks to Ruben Timid, my mentor, my boss. Thanks to Ruben Timid for listening to us. The many voices that have tried on numerous occasions to encourage and persuade him to come out of retirement and lead a group to be part of Montserrat's development. Ruben, thank you, because you have listened and you are back. The reason you are back is because leadership matters. You are not a rookie. You have made a name for yourself on the regional stage. CDB, CARICOM, you have spearheaded Montserrat's redevelopment back after Hugo in 1989. You have showed your mettle in politics. You have never lost an election in 25 plus years. That is a resume. You have never lost a seat. The people of Montserrat know that you have a steady hand and you have the requisite networking skills to pull us through these trying times. You're a statesman, not a rookie fighting for power and relevance. You know your intentions are in the right place. And with God as the head of this group, and with your team, the white train will continue to roll. It cannot be stopped. The United Alliance won't be distracted. And I'm so glad to see that on the rallies, that when people go low, that you guys choose to go high. And when they sport their gibberish and their political nonsense and their hot air, you rise to the occasion. All that will soon pass. It will soon go away. They're only trying to be relevant. Most of them who are criticizing, by the way, they should take a turn and get closer to you to learn some of your skills for their own political relevance. How can we vote for a group? And I ask myself that several times. I speak to a lot of people every day in England. And we discuss politics and we ask, how can you vote for a group of individuals who are joining together at the last minute with different ideologies and political direction, policy direction, but they're coming together now in the name of unity? How can we support an incumbent government who for the last 5 years has watched Montserrat suffer, no job creation, no critical capital development, no injection for small business entities, no development of a viable access policy, no direction, absolutely no direction, no workable mandate. But then they were asking you again to make the same mistake twice. At this time, let me boldly say, and this is serious, let me boldly say that any individual, and I'm talking about the events of the past couple of days, any individual, any Montserratian who support any motion for Mr. George Kernan's name to be removed from the ballot paper is a danger to the development of Montserrat and its people. And I'll say that again. It's a total disaster. It's a danger. But George, let's keep hope alive. You are one of Montserrat's finest, and there's a lot of work for you to do, to get completed, policy-wise and whatever. And you are a proud and a stalwart Montserratian. And before I end, I started by saying that leadership matters. But can you recall a piece of legislation that was tabled in the House of Assembly a couple of months ago, where the police was given all the rights, the power to freeze individual bank accounts for some accusation of impropriety? Without no investigation, temporary freeze bank accounts. That was brought by the MCAP administration and supported by the PDM. How can we trust these people to go and lead our government? How can we? And I'll say for the last thing, that is not only ludicrous, it is wrong. How can we therefore place the running of our affairs in the hands of these individuals? So I am therefore appealing to my fellow Montserratians. I am not there on the ground. I cannot vote. I was on the ballot paper last election, but now I'm not even on the electoral roll. Ludicrous. But I'm saying to you, I am appealing to Montserratians. The white train, the United Alliance, is moving. It cannot be stopped. It is the only team that can deliver the dream. What dream? The dream of a progressive and prosperous Montserrat. So on the 24th of October, next week, Thursday, I am asking you, please, when you go out, do not split your vote. Vote all 9, all the way for the United Alliance. And we will have a better Montserrat under the leadership of Reuben T. Meade, Marjorie Smith, Dr. Ingrid Buffon, John Osborne, the entire team, Jenzil Skerritt, Ann Thomas, Kay Dorset, my schoolmate. We will have a prosperous Montserrat. And George will be there to support. Thank you very much. Ruben and the crew, have a good day today. And thanks for allowing me this opportunity.
Thank you.
Okay. And now we're just letting the leader say thank you for that endorsement.
My brother, thank you very much. It's such a pity you could not be here, but we'll have you here sooner or later. And one of the assurances which we can give to the people of Montserrat, when we have talent like that of George Kernan, we can assure you that those talents will be put to use for the people of Montserrat. We're not going to let him go.
Can I?
I'm just going to read a few questions and then we'll just go through a few.
That's okay.
Because I think a lot of people are messaging and want to be answered. This one says, Happy New Day to the panel. My question is, how can you fix the issue of civil servants retiring at 60 and receiving pension at 65?
Again, that's a policy issue. Straightforward policy. You have the Civil Service Association. The Civil Service Association must lead on these discussions. So therefore, we expect the Civil Service Association to bring those matters up, and clearly we will have the discussions, and the changes that are required, we will in fact commit to make the changes as required and necessary.
This is another question for you, Mr. Meade. It says, Mr. Meade, what are your plans for the development of the 3 major festivals? MAC and tourism budget gets cut first. Sorry.
No, as it relates to the festivals, as I've said to the head of MAC, the way we do budgets is the wrong way. You don't look at what you had last year. and then say, okay, we're going to cut or we're going to add on a little bit. Each ministry or each department must put forward their plans and proposals for what they need. Okay, that's how you deal with budgets. We'll come back to that.
I think we lost that call.
Lost it.
Okay, so if you're having 3 festivals or 4 festivals, in discussions leading up to budget preparation, each ministry and each department starts from 0, other than for the fixed charges, salaries, wages, and benefits, and all of the other expenditures must be based on your plans and proposals. What are you planning to do? Why are you planning to do it? What are your priorities? And on that basis, funds are allocated. If funds are short, then the team gets together and deals with, among all of these, what are the top priorities.
I think we have another call on the line. Caller, good morning. Welcome to Let's Talk with the United Alliance.
Yes, good morning. So the caller that called earlier talking about this legislation that was passed. Mr. Mead, I have a question for you because this is mind-boggling. So this is factual that the police can go to someone's bank, look at it without having the court giving them permission and freezing the accounts? I mean, this is nonsense. What are you going to do about this when you become to me?
And absolutely mind-boggling, as you have found it mind-boggling. The police, the financial crimes unit, can just look at John, for example, and say, on a Friday afternoon, I'm going to freeze your account, without coming up with any proper explanation. He has his staff to pay. But all of a sudden, his checks are bounced, and he can't pay staff for 10 days. These are things which we will have to fix. And we will assure you, we will review such legislation and fix them.
We have another call on the line. Caller, good morning and welcome to Let's
You really
Talk.
don't have a call on the line. I'm just here to contribute and to let my 2 pence be heard, to tell you guys that I'm fully behind you. I'm liking the stuff that I'm hearing coming out of your camp, and I'm excited to be a part of what's going on with the United Alliance. One of the biggest issues on the table right now, and it affects even me, one of the sons of the soil that has contributed in many areas, vast amount of areas, with most of you at the table that I've worked with. What is the opinion of the group broad right across the board? Because we have issues that has come up that is affecting just how this item is really being looked at. I have just moved to the UK for 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And now I've been told to go back home. We are trying to say we are going to welcome back the diaspora. We're going to bring back our people home. And I know that's one of the causes that you guys are championing right across the board, that we see everyone as part of Montserrat and even our diaspora. So I just wanted to just help the conversation along to say, how are we going to tackle this issue of image of us and them, or is it all of us?
I'm going to answer a question that you have not asked, and then I'll allow somebody else to answer yours. Imagine you're working in the United Kingdom. You earn a pension, and you retire to Montserrat, a British overseas territory, a British colony. And somebody in Jamaica who did the same work in the UK, getting their pension in Jamaica, and their pension is upgraded every year. But you retire to Montserrat and your pension is not upgraded. That is one of the first issues that we will continue to address with the Department of Works and Pension and the others in the United Kingdom. We have to get that sorted out. Somebody else can answer the other part of it.
This team is committed to working. This team, my voice is not the best, is committed to working with the diaspora. I've just returned from Boston, where I was invited by the Aspirers to speak at their 50th anniversary. And with the permission of, and I say my permission because people in Montserrat, let me be careful, many persons seem not to respect leadership. I respect my leader. And we have discussed that we will establish a designated office in Montserrat to build our relationship with the diaspora. And that is to demonstrate our commitment to the diaspora that we are willing to work with them. You have already heard our leader speak to the fact that we have the capacity, the competence, and the experience of the diaspora to build. We may be this in number, but Montserrat's population is much greater, and that includes our diaspora. So do not fear. We are going to improve our relationships with the diaspora, not running here or running there, but we'll have a central office from which we will work and deal with the individuals or the groups that wish to continue to work. We welcome you home. And again, many persons have returned to Montserrat, and you have left because of the way we have dealt with you. I want to apologize for that. And I can assure you, with the United Alliance, that type of behavior will not be accepted and will not be tolerated. So keep hope alive, and we are ready to work with you.
Well, what I would... Okay, sorry.
My phone has been blowing up. This is not actually a question, but I like to read it nonetheless. I was not a Ruben T. Meade supporter, but when I look at all those who are offering themselves for leadership, R.T. Meade surpasses them in every way. I believe that under his leadership, Team UA is the right choice to move Montserrat forward. Unity is strength. Team United Alliance is unified, and together they will work for the people of Montserrat. I want a better Montserrat for myself, my children, and grandchildren, and that's why on election day I'm voting Team United Alliance all the way. Thank you for your endorsement.
Thank you. Well, I just wanted to support Honorable Hector in what she said just now. But what I see our term in government being is that we're going to have to fix a lot of policies. Because through policy, we set the tone for every issue in Montserrat. So if we have policies that are discriminatory, then obviously that will be the tone. So if we discriminate against our diaspora, we discriminate against people who are born in Montserrat, then that will be the tone. So we have to fix a lot of policy decisions to not be that way. And that's how we will incorporate our diaspora, make them feel welcome through policy decisions that make it easier for them to move back, make them feel more welcome to move back to Montserrat.
That is correct.
Well, the other one, and I want to draw out Dr. Buffong in this one, in that she speaks to standards. Standards come from policies. You want to help me out on that, please?
I think part of the problem, well, at least for me over the last several years in trying to push for change, if it's not part of health policy, then it's not going to be done. Nobody's going to care. Funding isn't going to go towards it. Training will not happen in that area. So it's really important that as politicians, that we make sure that the ideas that we have promised you during our campaign, that we get these documented as policy for the party and things. These are documents that are going to go forward to guide us to determine where we focus our funding, where we focus our training, equipment, et cetera, et cetera. So extremely important. While the other parties are trying to slander us and talk about our leader over and over again, we have been firm on the policy actions that we intend to put in place when we get into government. I just want to say my 2 cents about this party. I am extremely honored to be with these people. As good as I think I am, I think they are better. And
you're
great.
I
You're
am
great. You're
I am
great.
very, very honored to be with this team. Honorable G is over there smiling away. Since both of us crossed over to opposition back in the day when we were in Parliament, he has been constantly telling me, look, we have to run with Ruben Meade. Ruben is the only person who can make things better in this country. So we have been extremely big fans of yours, quietly waiting for the moment that we can run with you. And my time has come, and I'm very, very happy. I know that the people of Montserrat will make the right decision next week, Thursday. There is no other team to vote for. There is no other team with such an excellent slate of candidates that have their policies documented, the things that we want to do when we get into office. So please ensure that you're voting all 9 for this team.
Well, you were not that quiet because I can recall we were on a flight going from Montserrat to Antigua before I'd made my decision to come back. And although the plane engines were loud, you bent my ear from Montserrat to Antigua through immigration as to all of the reasons why I should come back, and I still did not take you on.
And I took a selfie.
You took a selfie as well. But now that Dr. Thwaites is here, and that persons have been questioning my health, I can say to you and Dr. Thwaites, my PSA reading is 0.
Excellent. I don't know what they're talking about. To me, you look very well. I was even commenting on his legs on the campaign trail. This man is a fit young man for his age.
He racing me up the hills, no?
Yes, I will quickly go back to the caller that made the comment on going back to constituencies. And I must say, one of the reasons why we're at the juncture where we have with so much chaos and confusion is the past 2 governments have been passing the buck. When people go to seek to get their problems addressed, this minister send that person to that place, and politicians hiding and ducking. It's just no love for the people. And every 5 years, they come back again to ask people to support me, vote for me. Let me say that Team United Alliance will change that. We are going to change how things are done in Montserrat within the political arena. We are going to have open door policies. You are going to see us coming back from time to time to visit you. And we will certainly come back to the communities, maybe not in full, but a representative. Our doors will be open 1 day a week where persons can come in, and you can be assured we won't be passing the buck or hiding and ducking, because we need Montserrat to come back to a place of peace and love, and where we solve problems and not create chaos. Vote Team United Alliance for that.
In addition to that, although we do not yet have our constituencies, we will be allocated the constituents you live in. You need to make sure that they are fine, they're working, they can communicate with you as well. So that already is going to be a move towards establishing our constituents' bounds again. For example, I am in Salem, and Jensen and I, we will look at the issues that we walk through the streets. We have our day with you. Marjorie and is in Lookout, that particular area. So we are committed to engaging with you, not coming to you at election time, and then you do not see us again. Again, development, we have community centers. We will come together from time to time to discuss what it is you want. Is there anything that you are not happy with how the government is progressing? And do not forget, what's on your mind would be back, so you can speak to us as well and hold us accountable. Accountability is going to be a big thing, and everyone knows I am Miss Governance. So we will be with you working towards a better Montserrat, a more transparent Montserrat, a collaborative Montserrat, not using words for words' sake.
My people, you have heard my colleagues and I over the last several months speaking on the issues that all of you have brought to our attention. We also have lived here and seen for ourselves what has transpired over the last 10 years. You have all tried the rest. Now it is time for you, the people, to have the best. And we are saying on election day, October 24th, do what you know is the best decision for yourself, your family, and your parents. Vote for the United Alliance and put this government into office to serve you, the people of Montserrat, those who come to make Montserrat their home, and those who have Montserrat in their hearts across the waters. Let us be the party to represent you. You know who we are. You have seen us over the years, and we are asking you to give us that endorsement so that we can lead the policies for you and make the laws that will make you be able to live here comfortably.
Okay. John, we're getting close to that point now, so Dwayne is going to speak. If there are any questions that you think are pertinent that we have to answer, let me know, and then we'll go back to Mr. Mead for our final wrap. Dwayne, go ahead.
I would say the expats, the people in the diaspora, we will involve you in our national development. We're not going to leave anyone behind. It doesn't matter where you are. Once you have the love for Montserrat, we will keep you on board.
And Doc, I think you may want to answer this question. It's saying there are many people in the diaspora of retirement age who would like to visit Montserrat consistently, but are concerned about healthcare issues. It's saying, what would the UA do to facilitate these people?
So along the campaign trail, we've been talking quite a lot about what we want to do in healthcare. Most of our elderly population are afflicted with illnesses that require ongoing care, and they need to be managed effectively when they have an emergency related to these ongoing conditions. And over the years, we've heard any number of sad stories of people coming here and succumbing to a problem and not making it back out. We would like to promise you, as a team, that we will completely sort healthcare. We're going to make sure that the service that's provided locally is equal to what you will have in a first world country. So as older persons, you don't need to worry. I know presently there are persons who have to live outside of Montserrat because of the need for dialysis, for example. We will make sure that this is available on Montserrat. So in kidney disease, when the kidneys stop working and are no longer able to filter the blood, patients need to be connected to a machine that does the filtering of the blood. We are going to make that happen locally. We're going to make sure that if you are on Montserrat and you have a stroke or a heart attack, that your care will be swift and effective, and if medevac is necessary, it happens immediately so that you can have the good outcomes that you would receive in another country. So you don't need to worry. Repatriation of older persons, of older Montserratians to this island is on our list of things that we want to make sure can happen and can happen safely. So we welcome you home in advance.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Bufang. And as we started, we'll end with giving you the honor to Mr. Mead. But can we take this call before we wrap, Mr. Mead? Good morning, caller. Welcome to Let's Talk with the United Alliance.
Hi, good morning. I'm calling from Boston, and I just wanted to know, in terms of healthcare, do our United Alliances going to get doctors that are well trained instead of having them there for 15 years, 20 years, not let them go overseas and update their credentials? Because I noticed that a lot of the doctors out there, especially the surgeons, have been practicing for years, no further training, nothing. So how could people from overseas come and live back home when that's not available?
Okay, thank you, caller. We'll take that question.
So we want to ensure that we facilitate ongoing training for all medical persons on Montserrat. Part of the problem on Montserrat is that the hospital does not have specific standards for doctors who are here to follow. And some of these standards will relate to training, to ongoing training and staying updated. We also will make sure that there are persons who are coming in on a regular basis, helping us with the writing of guidelines and protocols so that we can be managing patients effectively. So you do not need to have fear. I would like to also, in the same breath, say a word of support to our local doctors and nurses who I personally believe are very excellent but have been working in a rough situation for many, many years. So nurses and doctors on Montserrat, do not be disheartened. We are often very critical. We want to support you in the work that you're doing to make sure that as we go along on our journey in improving health, that you have access to everything you need to be the best clinicians that you can be.
And if I may just add, we will continue to build and strengthen our visiting specialist program. As you see, Dr. Twait is here, and I know there are many other persons who want to contribute. Thank you to Sonia, who comes to us, and also Dr. Rowe, who brings his team, and all the others who come from time to time. So that is something we shall strengthen.
And there are a wealth of Montserratians in the diaspora who are medically trained, who are waiting for this government to come into office so that we can help them to help their people too. So we welcome you too in advance.
And we invite the expatriates who have professionals in the medical field who can assist us to come and give us their service. We're here to build one Montserrat.
Okay, thank you very much. This is the United Alliance team. This is a team that brings you solutions. This is a team that looks to build Montserrat. This is a team with competence. Do not, and I urge you, do not, for heaven's sake, split your vote next week, Thursday. If you want MCAP back in office, it means you're going to split your vote and you're going to share with PDM and MCAP and you're going to get the same incompetence back in government. There would be no change. So I urge you, be wise. Leadership matters. And if you want me to be the leader of this country with this wonderful group of persons, vote all the way for United Alliance. Do not split your votes. Let us get this country moving and let us all work together. Bring your friends, bring your family, bring all of those others associated with you and make sure that they all come out to vote for the United Alliance all the way. We can't take any chances.
Saturday.
And on Saturday, I'll leave that to those who are more capable and competent to deal with that. Austin?
Okay, Saturday we'll be doing our motorcade and rally on a fun day. So join us at 3 o'clock in Salem as we rally through the island. We'll be having fun. We'll be having fun and just enjoying ourselves after a long, hard campaign. Join us on a Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock, while we motorcade through the island.
And this is not just a motorcade. It's a campaign stop in each village where we will be speaking to persons as we move along. We want to make it a big, happy gathering. And then we'll end up in Little Bay at the car park.
With the small axe?
With the small axe band coming out of
St.
Kitts, along with local acts, because we have to promote our local acts to ensure that when St. Kitts having their due, they will invite our guys to go down as professionals to do their thing down there and elsewhere in the Caribbean. Yes. Together we can.
Together we will.
And together we will as United Alliance all the way next week, Thursday. Thank you very much and God bless.
Montserrat in trouble. Somebody come rescue us, man. Montserrat was sailing in full speed under the leadership of Reuben Meade. Then they turned the ship over to a captain named Romeo. Then all of a sudden the ship started going down. So they brought a new captain hailing from long ground. Some people start swimming, some even start drowning. Montserrat in trouble. Who will rescue my people? United, 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 united alliance. United, united, united alliance. United, united. Montserrat is in distress. We need you to clean up this mess. United, 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 united alliance. United, united, united alliance. United, united. With your strong leadership, we know you can steer this ship.